Hello and welcome to my budget Springans deck. This is a fun deck that relies heavily on the field spell to cheese out it succeeds monsters. The first Springans monster is Captain Sargas. All the Springans monsters have the effect to attach to the Springans exceeds monsters from the hand, field, or graveyard, and Captain Sargas can also detach a material from an exceed monster to destroy one face-up card on your opponent's turn. It also gives 500 attack to Springans exceeds monsters it's attached to, so that's pretty cool. We also have Springans Branga. This card can banish itself and one other Springans monster to search for any Springans card, so this is usually Interruption or another Springans monster that you might want. It can also attach to the Springans Exceed monsters. Another level 8 is Supreme Sovereign Serpent of Golgonda. If you have the field spell, you can special summon this card from your hand or graveyard, so it's a free 3000 beat stick, which is pretty cool, and you can also exceed summon level 8 monsters easier with this. For the level 4 Springans monsters, we have Rocky. This one, when normal special summon, can add a field spell or Springans monster in your graveyard to your hand. It can also attach itself, so this way you can get more resources back. And then Brothers is usually what you want to send with Merrymaker, because when it's sent from the hand or deck to the graveyard, you can special summon one Springans monster in your graveyard. So this helps to get your play started. We also have Fedor. This one can tribute itself to target one Springans monster in your graveyard and special summon it. And it doesn't matter usually if it's in the graveyard, because you can still attach it to the Exceeds monsters, and this is an easier way to get out the level 8s. Then the first spell is Springans Watch. You can add a field spell, Golgonda, or if that is in the field already, then you can add a Springans monster. So this can search for the key cards you might want. You also have Springans Booty. If a face-up Exceeds monster leaves its field by a card effect, then you can target an effect monster and negate it. And then you can also send this card to the grave to search for the important field spell. And the field spell is Great Sand Seed Golgonda. All the Springans Exceeds monster gain 1000 attack, and then if you control no face-up Springans Exceeds monsters, you can discard a card, special summon one of the Springan Exceed monster from your extra deck. So that's pretty good to easily get out the stronger monsters. Then we have one Terraforming to also search out for the field spell. Then we have 3 Trading, because none of our level 8 monsters really care about being in the graveyard, and we run a lot of them, so it works out pretty well. Then the first trap is Springans Blast. This can negate a monster effect if you have a Springans monster on the field. And then next we have Springans Call. This one can special summon a Springans monster from your graveyard, which is nice to mostly exceed summon. We also have Springans Interluder. This can return exceed monsters, Springans exceeds monsters to the deck to negate an effect of a monster or special summon a level 8 monster from your graveyard, which is pretty nice. Then the first of the extra deck is Springans Merrymaker. This is the one you'll be summoning from the field spell a lot, because it can send a Springans monster from the deck to the graveyard, which is usually Brothers, whenever it's special summoned from the extra deck. So it's nice to get things started. And then when it can banish itself, and when it does this with 2 or more Springans monsters, it can send a fusion monster to the grave that has Fallen of Albas in it. But when this is sent to the graveyard, it can special summon or add to your hand one Springans monster. And then we have 2 Drill Driver Vespenata. This is nice because it can get a Springans monster off the field, the name, so Merrymaker. That way you can use the field spell again. We have 1 Castel the Skyblaster Musketeer to get rid of some pesky cards. 1 Gear Gigant X, because you can search for all the level 4 Springans monsters, which is nice. And then a King of the Feral Imps, because this can search for the Level 8 that special summons itself because it is a reptile. Then the other Springans Exceeds monster is Springan Ship Explorer. This one can detach cards to destroy cards on the field in a little area effect, which is nice, and this one is how you can get through back row easier. And then since we can exceed summon level 8s fairly easily, we have some Hieratic Sun Dragon Overlord of Heliopolis, and we also have extra monsters in the hand sometimes, so this helps to get rid of them and to pop cards while you're at it. We also have a number F0 Utopic Future. This can get rid of Merrymaker off the field and also can help do extra damage. And we also have Nightmare Phoenix to get through back row, and you can also get rid of Merrymaker off the field if you need to. That's the full Springans deck. It's only $12.46. I think it's pretty cool to be able to get out the Exceed monsters pretty much whenever you want. And it has lots of interruption, which is cool to negate monsters' effects. Thanks for watching.